guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be going through my weekend sales and a ship with me style video. And then for next weekend sales, I'll also do a ship with me, and so that this video isn't too short. We're going to start off with eBay, where I actually made, I think, 7 sales. Some of those sales are lower dollar, but I'm just happy to be moving inventory, and I love seeing the 7 with the red circle around it for stuff I need to ship out. This first thing that I sold on eBay is this Polo Ralph Lauren 100% silk dog printed tie. I bought this at a regular thrift store, I believe for either $3 or $4. And this actually sold in a timely manner like I thought it would, because it's very niche, right? People love their dogs. And so I wanted to get this. And I'm just going to print it out right now. I'm going to double check though too, because I think in my last ship with me, I mentioned how I have a fear that I ship it out to the wrong person. This is technically a poly mailer, but the sides are tearaway. And so I'm going to put it in another poly mailer bag. I think I only put, for the weight of this package, 6 ounces, but ties are really lightweight. This sold to somebody named Gary. So here I am. I'm going to pull this up right there. And first package done. Let's move on to the next sale. Oh yeah, I sold this Old Navy dress. Now this is kind of tricky because it is black, and so I don't want to like ship it with too much hair. Old Navy right there. I believe I got this, or actually did it focus? There we go. Actually, I don't know why I said extra large. It's a 2X. But yeah, this is from Old Navy. I believe I got this at the bins, so I probably paid like $2 to $3. I just want to make sure that I get off most of the lint, right? I don't want to do a lint roll over this again, but maybe I should. I'm just going to take off all the hairs really quickly, and you know, just the ones that like are noticeable. But the thing like with this black muslin fabric is that it really just attaches anything to it. This sold for $18 and I paid $3 like I said. I believe I sent out that $18 offer. I think I originally had this priced at $25, and then when I ended up ending the listing and clicking sell similar, I ended up lowering the price to $22, and then when I got a watcher, I offered $18, which I thought was okay, right? I am just kind of, I'm happy with profit, even if it isn't like a huge amount. I feel like I kind of folded that kind of weird, but that works. I mean, it's like a muslin fabric, so it doesn't really crease, which is nice about muslin fabric. All right, you guys, 2 sales down. I always package at night because my family's asleep and I can do it in peace and quiet. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll ship or package my items up during the day, but I do prefer to do it at night, and I especially do it at night on the weekend because I need to get my sales up by Monday, especially the sales that sold on like Friday, and then I was too lazy to drop them off. So this sale, you guys, is amazing. I actually think I featured this in not my most recent thrift haul, but 2 thrift hauls ago. So this is Double D Ranch Vintage. Got this at the bins, labeled size 4, but it fit more like a size 0 to 0. So I did put measurements. Listed this bad boy for $50. I believe it either sold in less than a week or less than 2 weeks for my full asking price of $50. Which is just incredible, right? I saw that sale come through, and you know, that just makes me so happy, right? It also teaches me that selling those lower dollar items kind of gets me in eBay's good graces and helps the algorithm so that there's more eyes on my more expensive listings, and it just encourages me to sell maybe older items for less than I wanted, but gets these higher dollar sales out there. All right, got this one packaged out. I love that I have a laser printer now. For so long I didn't have a laser printer, and it's just so nice to have a laser printer. I just didn't have someone tell me how great they are, and I should have realized that they're so great. And I didn't realize that they don't take any ink, which would have saved me so much money in the long run. So this next sale is, let's see, where did it go? You guys won't be able to see it, but I'll pop up a picture. This is from the brand Karen Millen, and it's like a black kind of scuba material on the back. It's like a 3/4 sleeve, and then the front part is 100% silk, and it has kind of this like rainbow art design on the side of the shirt. Really cool shirt. Bought this at the bins for $2. It only sold for $15, which was an offer that I accepted. But like I said, my mindset was, okay, I'm selling it for lower than I want, but hopefully that's putting me in eBay's good graces. And I think it worked. I think it helped me in the algorithm. I'd never come across this brand Karen Millen before, but I remembered hearing it somewhere, and it was low risk because I got it at the bins. And so I did decide to buy it, and it actually sold pretty quickly. I mean, for only $15, but I paid $2. So, you know, that's not that bad. I know that some people have way less profit business models, so I'll take that as a win. I'm gonna double check here that it actually sold to the person on this label, because definitely if I were to ever make a mistake, it would be when I'm filming and my mind is kind of elsewhere, but this is correct. Correct name. All right. 4th package done, which means we have 3 more to go through on eBay, which is just so exciting to say. So next sale, where did it go? Oh, it fell down. So this is a Ralph Lauren size 2X skirt. I bought this last year sometime, so it has been a while. And it's a silk linen blend midi skirt. Fun yellow, dark gray colorway. And I got this because of the great brand, the nice material makeup, and because it was a larger size. But it didn't sell for as much as I was hoping, because I had sold a Ralph Lauren 100% silk kind of brown midi skirt that was a larger size on Mercari really, really quickly. And so when I was thrifting that day, I had kept that sale in my mind, and I was thinking, okay, this is gonna sell so, so fast. That ended up not being the case. This has been sitting for a while. I feel like it's had interest on and off, but not as much interest as I was hoping. So I believe I had a watcher, and I had it listed at $28, and I did accept a I think I sent out actually a $23 offer, which I thought was pretty competitive. And so yeah, this sold for $23. My husband walked in to come tell me goodnight right before I filmed this video, and he's like, "It's a disaster in here." And I'm like, I know. My floor in here really needs to be cleaned, right? I just need to organize here a little bit more, but if I have free time to clean, I'm cleaning my upstairs, right, where I actively live more often. And so it's kind of hard to find that work-life balance. All right, another sale. You guys will be able to see this one fully too, but this is also a bins pickup. This sold for $20, which was my full asking price because it was just a basic t-shirt. The brand is J. Jill, and it was 100% Pima cotton, size 3X, and I think I said I got it at the bins, paid $2. So happy with this sale. I was like, oh, it sold for my full asking price of $10. I'll take it. I don't know, J. Jill, the brand for me, I am kind of putting it in the not buy category anymore because I cannot get it to sell. Even in the larger sizes, it's kind of become like Soft Surroundings, the brand, in a way, where, you know, the larger sizes, you know, used to sell, but even the larger sizes are kind of going away. So I'm kind of worried because I feel like I have a lot of J. Jill in my inventory, but I've been coming across J. Jill lately and I've just been leaving it behind. But from the bins, I'll usually pick it up. Definitely what I have to say about J. Jill is it's a slow mover, right? You have to be in it for the long haul. I have this really pretty cranberry duster, size extra large, from the brand J. Jill in my closet. And I've had interest, but no one bought it for the colder season. And I was actually really surprised by that because I thought it was a gorgeous, gorgeous cardigan. All right, I think we have one more on eBay. I feel like this took forever, which is a good thing, right? It means I have lots of sales. So we have Forever 21. I think this is the only Forever 21 piece I have in my store, but I got this because I got it at the bins and it was really cute, very adorable. I could not leave it behind. It's a black cardigan with yellow flowers. Had this listed for $20. There was a watcher. I offered $15, and the watcher was like, okay, I'll take that. And you know what? I'm not even gonna put this in a green poly because this isn't a tearaway bag. So we're just gonna ship it in this bag, right? It works. It's not the prettiest packaging, but I feel like it's pretty secure. And it's actually funny, where I live, we've basically skipped winter. Me and my husband went on a hike the other day, and it was like the most beautiful weather ever. And this only snowed a few times where I live, which is pretty rare for Utah. And so I'm just loving this weather, right? It is great. And I'm not worried about weather conditions for packaging. On to Depop, so I sold this pair of Merrell low top shoes that I got at the bins, and they're actually pretty dirty, so they only sold for $17, but I've had them for a while, and I was trying to find them tonight, and I couldn't find them. I looked in all the shoe places, and then my husband, he went to look, and he found them right away, which is usually the opposite, right? Usually my husband can't find something, and then I'll find it for him, but I just needed another set of eyes because I was about ready to contact the buyer and be like, sorry, I can't find the shoes. I'm gonna have to cancel your order. But now I don't have to cancel the order, and I make a little bit of profit. So this is what they look like, right? Everything, when it comes to Merrells, if you can get them for cheap and everything is intact, even if they're a little worn and a little dirty, I still feel like they're worth the pickup. And I'm going to pull out my handy dandy Walmart bags, stuff it in. Luckily, it's a pair of already worn down Merrells, and so I'm not worried too much about the suede knocking against itself, like the two shoes rubbing, but I still want to put a little bit of insulation. I always worry about, you know, people thinking that it's gross that I use plastic grocery bags, but I honestly don't think it's gross. I think it's just resourceful and a great way to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Sometimes I shake the table when I move. This is actually a very cheap table I got at Facebook Marketplace for $15. Like, some of the parts are broken, but I just needed a work desk. It didn't need to be pretty or anything, so this is a very, I mean, it's sturdy, but I wouldn't call it the most sturdy desk out there. This is the only box I have going out, which is nice because I don't have to transport a ton of boxes. And then the other sale I made on Depop is a really cool brand, which I've never found before. And it's from the brand Trip NYC. This is the only ever time I've found this brand. This is a size youth, or not youth, but junior 7. And the thing is, it looks like very skinny legs, right? But the waist measured, I think, at like a size 30 inches along the top, but I'm not 100% sure. Had this listed for $25. It sold for $20, and I sent that offer out, and my buyer accepted. Actually, maybe they sent it out to me. Sometimes I can't remember, but yeah, this sold, and I was super happy about it. Trip NYC is a Y2K brand, right? This like screams emo to me. It's so cool. But yeah, Trip NYC, definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. If I didn't say, I got this at the bins for, I believe, $1 or $2. Sometimes my cost of goods at the bins is kind of wonky. All right, guys, let's move on now to the last platform, which is Poshmark, where I made 2 sales. So this first sale on Poshmark is a pair of Democracy. I mean, they're kind of like jeans, but they're also very comfortable feeling. These are a size 16, and I can't remember how much I paid for them, probably around $6. They sold for $21, which was my asking price after Prime Lister sent out the discount. It was originally listed for $24. I don't pick up Democracy anymore, even in their larger sizes. I will pick it up from the Goodwill outlet because my cost of goods is only around $2. But in terms of the regular thrift store, I'll leave it behind. I was actually at Savers today, and I came across a few pairs of Democracy, and I left them all behind because, number one, I'm not picking up Democracy anymore, but if I was still picking up Democracy back when I was picking up Democracy pants / jeans, I would have not paid $8.99 for a pair because that doesn't leave a ton of profit margin. I did donate a bag today when I went to Savers, so I had 20% off my whole purchase, but even with that, they had some of the Democracy marked up to like $10.29. And so I actually found Mother for my first time ever today at Savers, but it was a skinny pair, size 26, so a smaller size, and it was worn and had a spot and everything. But kind of exciting to find Mother for my first time ever out sourcing, because I feel like some people find Mother all the time and I don't. And Savers doesn't know all their stuff because they did not mark up this pair of Mother jeans, but they might have not marked them up due to the condition of the Mother jeans. All right, you guys. Now this last sale, I guess I shouldn't have saved the worst for last, but this sale is pitiful. Okay, I believe I sourced this dress over a year ago, and I bought it at a DI, which is a Desert Industry Thrift Store, which is in Utah and other states. But this dress sold for $6. I believe I paid $6 or $8 for it. So I lost money. But I've had this forever. It isn't even a part of my inventory system. That's how old it is. It was one of the very first pieces I ever bought. I'll show you guys what this dress looks like. It is from the brand Nasty Gal, which I don't know a ton about this brand. I believe it's like a fast fashion brand. Right there, here's the new with tags. But this dress is very pretty. It's very, I don't know what I would put, like cottagecore, fairy. I believe I even put like Bridgerton because it just kind of gives old vibes. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm saying, is that like a stain or that's some yellowing? Yeah, that might be some yellowing. I guess I'm going to message the buyer, actually. I'm going to take a picture and be like, hey, I noticed that there is a little bit of yellowing, and, you know, just ask if she still wants it. Yeah, I will not package it up for now because I did sell this today, and so I do have a little bit of time to ship this out. So I'm just going to leave this right here. We'll see what the seller said, or what the buyer says. If I don't get a response after 24 hours, I will probably just ship it out. I mean, I'm assuming that the buyer won't care too much because it is very minimal, and she, you know, liked the dress enough to buy it. So, but that is everything. Let me see if I can show you guys kind of what the end stash looks like. Sometimes I can carry all of my packages if it's just like one box or two boxes, and then stack all the packages on top. Actually, I can't stack all these packages up today. There's too many, right? Which is a really good thing. I know that sales have kind of slowed down for some people, and that they're probably going to increase when people get their tax returns back. And I will have to say that that is true for Poshmark. Poshmark has been pretty dead for me, and I feel like Depop is a wild card for me, and I'm actually surprised by how well eBay did over the weekend, but just happy for these sales, glad for these sales. I'll see you guys next week when I add on to this video. All right, you guys, it is the next weekend. Let's package my sales together. I only have 3 to package with you guys because last week I barely listed anything at all. I was kind of in a mental funk, and so that definitely reflected in my sales. And I think these sales are for the past like 4 days, and so I really wasn't making sales, but we have 1 on eBay to go through and 2 on Poshmark. Let's start off with eBay, where I sold these Harley Davidson men's sneakers for only $20. I believe I paid either $6 or $8 for them at a thrift store. I could have sold these much faster than I did and for more money than I did if I hadn't made a huge mistake. My mistake was I deleted these shoes from all of my platforms because for some reason I thought that I'd sold them. And then a couple of weeks later, I was getting this feeling, or just like thinking in my brain, wait, did I actually sell these sneakers? So I went down into my inventory, and sure enough, I had not sold them. And so I guess I didn't click relist. I clicked sell similar on eBay to the listing that I had ended for these shoes, and I relisted them. And then I never cross-listed them back to the 3 different platforms. So these were only listed on 1 platform, which is eBay. And I think I might have sold these on Poshmark had I relisted them and cross-listed them to Poshmark. So only $20 sale, but I have had these for several months. I believe that like the average sell price and the sell-through rate on eBay wasn't terrible. I do like to sell the brand Harley Davidson. I think I've sold a pair of shoes before. Maybe I haven't, but I know that I've sold a woman's shirt before. And Harley Davidson is just a well-known brand. I know that their like biker shoes can sell well, or they're like not goth, but like, you know, like the leather Harley Davidson studded boots. I know that those can sell well, and that's why I decided to look up the sneakers, and they didn't look like they were selling for a ton, but for a good amount. So I was looking for this. I save all of my Amazon stuff like this because it's free shipping supplies. Luckily, I don't have to worry too much about packaging it super well in terms of padding because it's just a pair of tennis shoes. I'm gonna print the label out. This sold to a guy named John. So hopefully, John, you enjoyed these shoes. The likelihood of you watching this video is very small, but if you are a viewer and you bought these from me, thank you. I've had them forever, and I kept meaning to cross-list these. I had it in my to-do list on my phone, and then you know what? I just never did, and I ended up getting a watcher on these shoes on eBay, and then I sent them a $20 offer, which they accepted. On to Poshmark, and I finally have, where did they go? I'm like, I finally have, right here. I finally have the Priority Mail poly mailers. I ordered these a while ago because I ran out, and then I didn't receive them for over a week. And then I checked last weekend when I was doing my ship with me, and I was like, did the sale ever actually go through? Did I ever actually order these? Did the order go through? And it looked like they hadn't because I hadn't gotten like an email or anything. So I had to reorder these, and they came, so I finally have these. But first thing I sold on Poshmark was just this Christopher and Banks little cardigan kimono shawl thing. This sold for only $15. I bought it at the bins though. It was a size 2X, and so that was one of the main reasons that I got it. I accepted that $15 offer, even though I had it listed for $25 because, like I said, I was getting nothing. I got a few other offers over the weekend, but they just were not good offers. This shawl sold to a Steph, so thank you, Steph, for your purchase. You made my weekend from a $0 sales weekend to actually some sales. Now that we have that one packaged up, we'll do the last sale to go through together, which is actually a pretty high dollar sale. This is a pair of Saison gray. There's a seam down the middle and a belt. I got these from Savers for only $8.99. They didn't mark them up. $8.99 is like the standard Savers jeans price. Sometimes they'll mark their jeans $6 something cents, but the jeans either have to be like in really bad condition for that to happen. So yeah, pair of Saison jeans, paid only $8.99. I had actually been thinking how badly I wanted to find a pair of Saison jeans, or not jeans, just a pair of Saison clothing at all. And then like a couple days later, I was thrifting at Savers, saw the Saison tag, and I literally thought I was hallucinating it because I had just been thinking about how I wanted to find Saison to resell because it is such a high in-demand brand. It's not like this jeans style is even that popular, right? It's a pair of skinny jeans in a gray color. I don't know how well that style would sell in other brands, but Saison is a hot poppin' brand, and I was just so excited that I found it. These sold to a Nikki, so thank you, Nikki. I actually had them listed for $80, but I got a $45 offer after essentially no sales weekend, and then I countered at $60 and she counter offered $50, and I was like, okay, that's only $30 under my asking price, and even though it's been less than 3 months, $50 is still a great flip. I don't think I'm gonna find Saison again forever, honestly. Like, it's such a in-demand brand right now. It's such a trendy brand that I feel like if any other reseller comes across the brand Saison when they're out sourcing, they're gonna pick it up before me, which is why I was so surprised actually when I found these Saison jeans, because it was towards the end of the day too. So it was kind of crazy, but glad I found those Saison jeans. Anyway, those are all my sales for the past weekend. Very sad. I think last week I went through 12 with you guys, and so going from 12 to 3 is kind of brutal, but it definitely goes to show that listing consistently, listing daily, definitely makes an impact on how much you're gonna sell. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully. Bye.